Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakahakwadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who ruled and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure to the end. This is the Brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson, and I'm going to start it off with an article from usatoday.com. They aren't Martians. U.S. deploys additional resources on drone sightings. And of course, over the last couple of weeks, there's been a stir in the media, the mainstream, as well as on social media about all these drone sightings, like in New Jersey and other parts of the country and, other parts of the world as well. And we know that Esau has his agendas out there. 2 Corinthians 2 verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Of course, there's Project Bluebeam and talks of, as crazy as it may sound to somebody first coming across these lessons, faking an alien invasion. But ultimately, these UFO or UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena that have been taking place, over the last couple of years all across the planet, are the chariots of the Lord, Yahweh, the name of the Heavenly Father, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called God. And he's going to be sending his son, Yahawashi, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus, with the armies of heaven, chariots piloted by the angels of the Most High, to do two things: to save the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners, who through the generations have come to look like these heathen nations since they were scattered and mingled amongst them, and also to make war against the true heathens, chiefly the biblical Edomites, or the so-called white people who are currently in control of the planet. And as we get closer and closer to Yahawashi's second coming, you're going to see more and more chariot sightings out here. And they're going to make themselves that much more pronounced. Don't be surprised when, you start seeing footage of the chariots close up. And like I just said, Esau has his agendas to control the narrative, but it's going to get to the point to where it's just going to completely be out of Esau's control. And people are ultimately going to know that there is a higher power out here. But let's get into this article. The federal government is deploying additional resources to address the aerial drones that have prompted concern among East Coast residents, many in New Jersey. In recent weeks, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said Sunday, "There's no question that people are seeing drones," he said on ABC News this week. "I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the New Jersey State Police Department in addressing the drone sightings." The federal government is deploying additional resources to address the aerial drones that have fueled anxiety among some residents of New Jersey and other East Coast states in recent weeks. Slovakia. I think I just read that. Yeah. I'm going to skip these paragraphs right here. Witnesses have described clusters of lights, saying they look like drones hovering over populated areas around the state. The reported sightings have expanded to New York and Maryland and have attracted the attention of residents and politicians. President-elect Donald Trump chimed in Friday, posting on social media, "Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so." Hey, and those at the top, the elites and even some of these lower luminaries, they know what it's hitting for. They know it is the chariots of the Most High that are being piloted by the angels. But of course, they're not going to let you people know that information, because for one, that would validate the Bible, which this whole society that Esau set up is against. And then, the angels, as well as the Heavenly Father and his son, have the appearance of, dark-skinned Negroes with woolly beards and afros, and they damn sure don't want you people knowing or thinking that. But the men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, chiefly at GMS or Great Millstone, from the apostles and elders all the way down, for years, for decades, have been going into the scriptures, telling you what's going on and what's going to take place. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the chariots are coming to do two things: save the elect and make war against you heathens. So these people out here, these mortals, these heathens, as well as, the wicked of our people who want to live like these heathens, you have every damn reason to feel anxious and anxiety, because for the majority of you, these things are coming to judge you. This is Zechariah chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 1. And the header reads, "The flying scroll. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll." And this wasn't talking about a literal flying roll like something out of the Page Master. This was talking about a chariot, which the chariots don't abide by man's understanding of physics or science or whatever you want to call it. The chariots can do anything they want. They can go between dimensions. They can change their shapes and sizes and colors, etc., etc. It's just that this particular chariot that Zechariah saw looked like a flying scroll. And he said unto me, "What seest thou?" And I answered, "I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits." The size and diameter of this particular chariot, length, all that. Then said he unto me, "This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, because the chariots are coming to make war against you heathens. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it." And you Edomites are the ultimate thieves out here. How did you get the earth into your possession? Through rape, robbery, and murder, especially of the children of Israel. You don't need to look any further than the North American continent. They didn't peacefully take that, with peace treaties or a box of chocolates. That was violent bloodshed. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. And we're seeing them enter into the house of the thief right now with all these chariot sightings all across America. And it's going to go to the point to where, you're going to be seeing them to actually feeling them, shooting concentrated heat or so-called laser beams onto your ass. And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. The chariots shooting those laser beams onto people, onto structures, destroying every goddamn thing. And then on top of that, when Yahushua makes his second coming during the midst of World War III, nuclear missiles are also going to be shot to the ends of the earth, destroying things. Drone sightings won't be a Hollywood movie. Representative James Hines, a Democrat of Connecticut, in an interview with Fox News Sunday, was asked about the emerging seaspiracy theories. Hines said he understood why people are anxious, and he chastised the FAA for failing to explain to the public that the large number of commercial and private military aircraft that fly over New Jersey in a 24-hour period could be confused with drones. And hey, they all aren't commercial aircraft, drones, military, whatever. Now let me say something that I know with confidence. It is not the Iranians. It is not the Chinese. They aren't Martians, Hines said. And he's correct. They aren't any of those things. But they are coming from the second heaven, or space, ultimately from the first heaven, the spiritual realm where the Lord dwells. I know that's very unsatisfying for people who want a Hollywood movie out of this. Last week, White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby said the drone sightings appear to be piloted aircraft, which they are piloted by the Angels, adding that there was no evidence the sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat or have a foreign nexus. But as we just read in Zechariah chapter 5, these chariots are going to be the curse for you heathens and the wicked of our people that goeth over the face of the whole earth. Kirby did say the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI were working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide numerous detection methods to solve the mystery. We'll jump down to this last little section. Some sightings may not be drones. The FBI and Department of Homeland Security have said such sightings mostly appear to not be drones at all. Historically, we have experienced cases of mistaken identity where reported drones are, in fact, manned aircraft or facilities, the agencies said in a joint statement. And like I've been saying throughout the video, Esau's doing his thing. He's got vehicles and crafts out here that he hasn't shown the public yet. So you do have those things flying around. But ultimately, we know through the scriptures and prophecy that a lot of those sightings are actually the chariots of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And they're coming to, again, do two things: save the elect and make war against you heathens, chiefly you Edomites. But now I'm going to play this quick clip from the brother, the Hopeful Elect 3's YouTube channel titled 2025 is going to blow your mind. And this is a fair use disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes. And with how 2024 has been looking and going into 2025, it's definitely looking like it's going to be a year, for the record books.
So at this point, I think most people are thinking, wow, 2024 was crazy. Can't top that. But every year we've topped it. And I'm telling you, 2025 is going to be insane. And I'll tell you why. Right now, we have a potential civil war. We have a potential World War III. We have this crazy Moriarty-style Batman in the bushes assassination thing going on.
And there will be civil unrest in the United States of America. Isaiah 19:2 reads 2 Esdras 15 verses 14 to 16, and there will be World War III. Revelation 9 verse 12, Joel 3.
But then there's these drones, and now again, everyone's calling them drones, but then they say we really don't know what the hell these things are. But these things are like the size of cars flying around all over the world. And at first you would think, okay, it's just the US military doing their thing, right? But here's the thing. This isn't happening just in the US. This is happening in the US, the UK, Canada, China, Mexico, Kazakhstan, Japan, India, Russia. Like, this is happening almost literally everywhere in the world. That we're
the curse that goeth forth over the entire earth.
Seeing these sightings. And it's not like, oh, we saw a sighting in October, another in November. This is every day. We're seeing sightings everywhere. And we can't figure out what these things are. And, there's three possible options. One, they're ours. And the military, just for whatever reason, is not communicating with governors and mayors and letting everyone just go into hysterics, which I don't think that would actually happen. Number two, it's a foreign entity such as China or Russia or something like that, in which case you would think that by now we would have followed them back to their own country. And like, if you're a country and you're hovering drones over top of military installations all over the world, that is a declaration of war. And you can't tell me that the US military hasn't identified where they're from, where they're coming from, where they're landing, and then decided, okay, you've declared war on us. If that were the case, we would already be bombing somebody. So I don't think it's necessarily theirs. But then what does that leave, right? That leaves an ET possibility. But like, come on, man, like, are we really there? Is this really where we're at? We're believing now that aliens are hovering over top of us, and we're so incredibly desensitized to this that we're just like, huh, that's weird. And then get back to our daily life. So anyway, it's my prediction that 2025 is going to make 2024 look like a nursery rhyme. We are going to start off this year with a bang. And
hey, start off 2025 with a bang. Abaratazah. But as he just said, what do we got to consider? Is this the alien option? You know, people have become so desensitized that they're just looking at these things like, oh, whatever. But when Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai truly makes their presence known, hey, this won't be no casual matter to you people out here. Now let's get to these prophecies, these precepts. This is in the book of Revelation, chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 1. The revelation, or the unveiling of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, which the Most High gave unto him to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And we're in the days of these things shortly coming to pass. The last days, really the last seconds of the last days, before the end of this age of the heathens and the beginning of the age of Yasharallah, Israel, the kingdom of heaven being established for eternity. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds. And when you read Psalms 104 about verse 3, it shows that in some scriptures, clouds can be synonymous with the chariots. And every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, because reincarnation is biblical. So those Roman centurions in the past that were at the crucifixion, hey, they're back here today, you know, to receive judgment from Yahweh Shai personally. And all kindreds, you know, nations of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Aman. So every eye shall see him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Because what? It's that curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai bringing that judgment with those chariots. This is Isaiah chapter 63, and I'm going to start at verse 1. Because the main target Yahweh Shai is coming to visit are you Edomites. Hence why there's so many chariot sightings taking place over America, the UK, Russia, Europe, a lot of places where you Edomites dwell. The Most High's vengeance on the nations, the heathen nations. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? And Basra was an ancient chief city of the Edomites. So your modern day Basra would be the United States of America. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. The revelation of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, coming with those clouds, where every eye shall see him and bewail because of him. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? And that's symbolic for the great death and destruction Yahweh Shai's coming to bring to you people. Contrary to popular belief, he's not coming with a box of candy and cotton candy looking like Bon Jovi, you know, to give everybody a hug. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Yahweh Shai also coming to save his elect. And as it said back in Revelation 1 verse 1, to shew these things which must shortly come to pass. And you know, it's no coincidence that during Donald Trump's first presidency, what did he create? The U.S. Space Force. And you've been having a lot of these different, you know, governments, mainly these Western governments, come up with their own versions of the Space Force because, you know, these heathens, chiefly these Edomites, are going to try to fight against Yahweh Shai's second coming. But, you know, you should already know the end of this story. it's going to be no competition at all for Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi. This is Revelation chapter 12. I'm going to read verses 7 to 9. And there was war in heaven. And like I said earlier, you've got the second heaven, which is space, the third heaven, which is the spiritual realm where the Most High dwells, and the first heaven, which is the regular sky. And this war in heaven is going to be in Leo, or low Earth orbit of the second heaven, and the first heaven, the regular sky. This isn't talking about fallen angels or the Frieza Force fighting against the Most High, in heaven. That's all Saturday morning cartoon nonsense. If you have and believe in the Book of Enoch, hey, we're starting to come into the winter months, so you can use it as some firewood to keep you warm. Michael and his angels, because the Archangel Michael is going to be returning with Yahawashi as well, and his angels are, the armies of heaven coming in those chariots, fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. And when you go up to the first couple of verses of this chapter, it's talking about what? That red dragon that tried to swallow up the woman and her man-child, the son. And, that's talking about what? The ancient pagan Roman Empire, and Herod, who was an Edomite, who was also a client king of the Roman Empire, trying to put Yahawashi to death in the past. Well, now we're back into the rebirth of that red dragon, the reincarnated Roman Empire, which is this NATO EU system that the U.S. is at the head of. So the dragon and his angels is Esau's militaries, his air force and his space force, with vehicles you people have never seen before, trying to fight against the heavenly host. But, as it's about to say, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Yahawashi is going to make short work of Esau and his military might. When you read in Isaiah 47, and when you read in Revelation chapter 18, it says it's only going to take 1 hour for America to be destroyed during World War III, when those nukes hit this place, and the chariots are going to be firing those laser beams on this place as well. Short work. Verse 9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil or deceiver, and Satan, the accuser. And it's relating this dragon, which, as I just said, is speaking of the ancient pagan Roman Empire and then the reincarnated Roman Empire, which were both physical empires on the face of the earth, run by physical men. It's comparing that old serpent to that. So that old serpent in the garden wasn't a talking snake with legs. It was talking about a man and a nation of people who were the wicked back then, who through the reincarnation are the nation of the Edomites today. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world, which we can clearly see with his pseudosciences, trying to discredit the Bible, and what else? Him using iconoclasm when he came back into power during the Renaissance or the rebirth to show the Heavenly Father, his Son, the angels, and the Israelites as what? So-called white people, which, ever since the prophets have been coming out and correctly breaking down these scriptures, all these strongholds that Esau's tried to set up are breaking, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And when everything's said and done, you heathens, beginning with, and at the head of that, you Edomites, are going to be going into hardcore bondage and slavery under the children of Israel for the first 1,000 years of the kingdom of heaven, building it up. And then after that first 1,000 years, all you Edomites, man, woman, child, young, and old, are going to be permanently culled from this planet, by fire. An entire nation, being deleted. Read Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18. Hell, read the entire book. But that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. As we can clearly see, we are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharella, and until next time, Shalom.